terrible things are to come? Or is just things terrible? Hard things just terrible as usual? We'll talk about it. Bible News Radio starts right now.
So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Turn up the music. Turn it up loud. Take a few chances. Let it all out. 'Cause you won't regret it. Looking back from where you have been. It's not who you knew, and it's not what you did, it's how you live.
All right, well, welcome everybody. This is Point of Grace. As you guys come in, I want to thank you for that. Thank you for sharing this out. Don't you love those Eclipse little icons there? That's hilarious, actually.
Every night, don't run from the truth, 'cause you can't get away.
It's how you live, people.
Just face it, and you'll be okay. Turn up the music. Turn it up loud. Take a few chances. Let it all out. You won't regret it. Looking back from where you have been. 'Cause it's not who you knew, and it's not what you did, it's how you live.
Amen, right? Amen? I think Randall's gonna put himself with the dog on screen, right?
You want me to?
Of course.
So give to the needy and pray for the grieving, even when
Well,
you
here am I.
don't think that you can.
I don't know about
All that you do
Hold up your
Tug.
baby.
come back to you. So think of
Ugh.
fellow man.
Only a manly man would do this.
Yeah.
Make peace with God.
Just saying.
Peace with
Maybe go solo here.
You do it.
yours in the end.
And then we'll get
Nobody
that. Oops.
else. Turn up the music.
Nah, still ain't gonna work.
Turn it up loud. Take a few chances. Let it all out. 'Cause you won't regret it. Looking back from where you have been. 'Cause it's not who you knew, and it's not what you did, it's how you live. It's not who you knew, and it's not what you did, it's how you live.
So this week, Randall ate a cricket. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I remember it quite well.
He's having nightmares.
Not true. It's no big deal, really. Now that the deed
Well-
is done, it's like, eh.
Well,
what?
I actually posted the clip of that on Instagram earlier today.
I noticed that.
Did you?
I didn't watch it. I just got the
Didn't want to relive it, did you?
notification.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming in. Glad you're here. Danielle, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. I'm skipping now. Melanie Meal Weiser is here. Randall Pandlebear Harp, who eats crickets, is here.
Only one. I haven't eaten plural that I know of.
Jeff
Over time
is
I may
here.
have.
Danielle is here. Monica is here. And Mia's here. And I'm sure some other people are watching on Twitter.
The
By
king
the way,
of Halloween has joined
I
us.
should tell you that those of you who watch on Twitter, but we don't know that you're here, I want to thank you for watching on Twitter. Because you know what? If you're not on Twitter,
You're not already, then you've missed it.
that's right. Anyway, so yes, the eclipse icon is because we hashtagged eclipse. And of course, the end of the world is near because the eclipse is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so
We'll
you know.
talk about that.
Yeah. Hey, I also wanted to recap very quickly our week. Just so you know, you guys might recall that we talked about the news at the beginning of the week. Randall ate a cricket, and then we had our 25th wedding anniversary, which was probably the highlight of our week. And then Carla Akins came on our show. She talked about her book. What was her book called? I forgot what it's called. But anyway, it was about...
A pair of miracles.
That's what it was called. Yeah. She adopted twins that have autism. So we talked to her. And then last night we did an epic scope with Pastor Pedro, a.k.a. Pastor Pete, a.k.a. Jacques Grooms, a.k.a. Pastor P to most of you, a.k.a. my brother in the Lord, a.k.a. he's super old. And no, I'm just kidding.
Better be.
I posted a clip from last night on Instagram where I wasn't even trying to be funny or make fun of him for being old, but, you know, couldn't help it. And he's okay with that.
Weren't even trying to. It just kind of came naturally.
I pick on people
Seemed
I like. I
intentional.
just, you know, yeah. I mean, I totally pick on people I like, though. That's the thing. All right. The other thing I wanted to do, and we're going to do this. Last week, we shared with you a creative type person over on Etsy. And I thought this week that we would do the same thing. In fact, every week, because I'm totally into the creative stuff. I'm finding people that I like and I think that are worthy of being shared out on our program. And so I want to share with you this week. I was following a woman. Her name is Rihanna on Instagram, because I love Instagram. I think I spend more time on Instagram stories than on any other story platform, just because it's so fun. And anyway, her Instagram name is Recreation by Rihanna, and I'm going to hold it up because I have it written down here. Wait, hold on. And she also has an Etsy store, but don't put that up yet, First Bareface. I want to hold this up so you guys can see it. And if you're interested in going and checking out her beautiful art, then you can actually, follow her on Instagram. And for those of you who are listening to the podcast, I'm going to spell it out. Okay, it's R-I, then creation. So R-I creation _ the word by, B-Y _ Rihanna, and it's R-I-A-N-A. That's her Instagram. So it's RICREATION _ by _ Rihanna. And then her Etsy store is Etsy, ETSY.com /shop /recreation. Okay, and those of you who take screenshots, you can obviously screenshot my beautiful handwriting right there that I have up there. All right, now, Bareface, go ahead and show her store, if you don't mind. And then you can scroll through it. And there's actually on her Instagram channel, there's some really, really cool art, which I really liked. And this is all watercolors, you guys. She actually is an artist who paints with watercolors. And the one on her Instagram, maybe you could go there too. I probably should have brought that up. But she does scripture art, you can see there. And she does flowers. She does wells and some other stuff. I actually have it here on my thing. Right, Danielle? Yeah, I mean, she's so talented. This is the type of stuff I'm not gifted in. I'm gifted wordly wise, just with an intellectual wit. Also, though, if yeah, the Life of Full Bloom is very pretty. So all these are extremely affordable. So, like, if you want like original art, then you can get this you can buy this stuff from her over at Etsy. And I'm pretty sure she will also, like, if you want her to do something specific, you can probably just ask her and she probably will. That is my guess. And I saw her. There she is right there. So there she is, recreation number 7. That is her. And I'm going to follow you. I'm not going to block you. I'm going to try not to block you. Yeah, I'm going to be your first follower. There you go. So Rihanna Samaru, that's your name, right? Okay, and it's your first day on Periscope. See, there you are. And Rihanna, I'm telling you, just take it from me. I can tell you right now that if you start to Periscope yourself painting these things, you are going to get way more followers and you're going to make way more sales, just so you know, because people will love watching you do it. And I can tell you, I know a number of people, creatives on Periscope doing it, and, you know, hey, more power to you. If I had this gift and I had the extra time to be doing that, I would totally do it. So, Randall, can you bring up her Instagram? It would be Instagram, I believe, yeah, it's Instagram recreation _by_Rihanna. Can you do that? Because, do you have it? I should have gave you the thingy.
Yeah.
But, so if you can do that, then I want you to see the one that she was working on that I was like, oh my gosh, I want that. Let's see. So it's recreation _
All right, got it.
You got it? Okay, go ahead and bring that up. _by_ Rihanna. See, because we all have gifts, right? And, yeah, so if you actually click on the, I guess you can't do that when you're on the web, but what's really cool is she actually has a course here that's called, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's a newest class. It's on Skillshare. And she specifically targets watercolor blending for brush letters. If you want to learn how to blend letters, this is the class for you. You can sign up for it. I don't know how much it is. Maybe you can tell us, though, Rihanna. But you can sign up. You can learn how to do this. And then her other previous posts, the third one, Bareface, is the one where she did this beautiful butterfly painting right here. These are all my favorite colors here that she's used. The purple and the turquoisey and all that other stuff. It's a wild garden, and it reminds her of a fairy garden filled with delightful things, is what she says on her thing. And she has 100 likes on it. She's got a pretty good following, almost 800 followers on Instagram. So you can understand why, because it's just beautiful, the stuff that she does. And then, of course, if you scroll through, she also has a marshmallow screaming as it's going to fall into some hot chocolate. And I never even thought about how a marshmallow might feel doing that, Rihanna. So, anyway, and you can sign up for 2 months free via your link on Instagram. Is it for Skillshare, right? For your class? I might have to check that out. So, yeah. So there you go. You guys put up some emojis if you like this idea of me highlighting somebody new every week on Free for All Friday, because I think it's pretty cool. And you know what? One of the things I really appreciate and really love is that if I get a gift, you know, from somebody and it's a unique gift, I love going to Etsy, because Etsy, you know, there's so many biblical Christian creatives over there. You can get so much affordable stuff, and it's just totally cool, you know. And we're all here about encouraging each other, right? Building each other up and all that. So there you go. This week's pick of the week, recreation by Rihanna. So thank you guys for indulging me and letting me share that. I think that's very cool. And don't forget to follow her too here in Instagram, not Instagram, Periscope, because you never know. Maybe she'll do some stuff on here too at some point. Pastor D. Lewis, welcome to the broadcast. All right, Bareface. So let's start with some news and shake it up a little bit.
Shake it up.
First of all, what was the highlight of your week for broadcasting? And those of you who watched every day this week, What was it that stood out to you this week with Bible News Radio that really stood out? Something that impacted you?
Trying to think. Let's see. Which guest did we have this week? We had Carla. We had Pastor P.
That was it. Those were the two guests
I
we
guess
had.
so.
And then we had our anniversary, our 25th anniversary.
Yeah,
So
did
it's
our-
this little milestone in our marriage.
Little milestone.
And you
the
ate a
big
cricket.
silver.
You ate a cricket before, we had our anniversary, and you didn't die, which was a good thing.
Yeah. Of course, highlight of my week, non-broadcast, of course, is just reaching that milestone, the silver anniversary.
It was hard fought.
Well, I don't know. It gets easier as the years go by, and more delightful. And so, the fact that we did a broadcast, we were thinking we wouldn't, but that's sort of like additional memorabilia, I guess.
Memorabilia?
Well, I mean, I was saying that I would remember it to be the highlight, whether or not we did a broadcast. Celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary.
Yes.
But the fact that we did broadcast just, made it more memorable, I guess. So, what is something that makes something memorable? A memory device? A memorable? So, I don't know. So, memorabilia came to mind because that's what the things, memorabilia are things that help you remember something or commemorate something, anyway. So, yeah. So, I called it that.
Yeah.
Got a problem with that?
Nope.
Good.
Nope. I can tell you, though, we're very weirdos. We are.
Yeah.
Just put a 1 if you agree we're weird. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
I dare you. Nah.
We'll set the audience up. What do you mean we're weird? That would be, let's talk psychology here.
Or not.
All right. So I want to talk about some of the news because here's the thing, there's some really horrific stuff going on, and I've tried not to focus on it, but it's kind of hard not to. And because we are Bible quote news unquote radio, which by the way we're actually not on radio, just so you know, but we do have a podcast. Oh, by the way, for those of you who were hoping for the Pastor Pete podcast, I'm still waiting for Full Scope to render the video. It's a 2-hour video. So I haven't been able to pull it yet. So don't worry. Hopefully over the weekend, or actually I pulled the audio from our Zoom feed, so we might do that. But, Christian persecution is alive and well on planet Earth. And, it's unfortunate because the church in America, by and large, really struggles with this issue. And if you're new to the show, you don't really know anything about Randall, Pandle, Bareface, and me. I will tell you that, I have a background as a marriage and family therapist, and interestingly, the Lord put me in the ministry of Voice of the Martyrs, which is the largest ministry to the persecuted church worldwide. I wrote their persecution blog for almost 8 years, and so I actually know a little bit about Christian persecution because I wrote about it for 8 years straight, 5 days a week, 3 blog posts a day. So I've written thousands of posts about Christian persecution. I've studied this pretty extensively. Mission Network News is a website that I actually really do commend to you. It's mnnonline.org. If you go there, you guys, they do a short podcast, and they also do short articles. So it's not like you're going to read a book every time that you go to Mission Network News. But they have an article titled "Curry Talks Christian Persecution at Jewish Temple," and I just want to read it to you because it was released earlier today. It says here, earlier this month, Open Doors USA's David Curry was the guest speaker at a breakfast held by Temple Emmanuel, a Jewish temple in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Persecution bonds Jews and Christians. There, in the burnt golden room, history made a visit to the breakfast. Various speakers shared the somber and at times hopeful stories from the Holocaust. The stories reflected both the destructive heart of humankind, but also the love which lifts up the weary in times of trial. However, the stories also served as a warning. Religious persecution isn't something to be ignored, but something to be confronted. And it was the history of their own religious persecution that prompted this particular Jewish temple to help awaken their local community to Christian persecution. Many people don't know, even in the Christian community, that there's been this sharp increase over the last several years in the persecution of Christians, not just in the Middle East, but in Asia and in other places, Curry explains. And so what we're trying to do is raise the temperature, raise the level of discussion on what's going on to Christians, and make sure that people know. Curry hopes this breakfast is one of the many catalysts in getting Christians and others involved in both understanding what persecution is and how to help. Religious persecution is essentially the denied freedom of conscience. Don't miss that. The ability to live in line with one's religious convictions and beliefs. Understand religious persecution. If you look at the major crises around the world, the famine in Nigeria is a religious liberty issue because it was brought about not through agricultural challenges, but because of Boko Haram, this extremist group that's been attacking these groups and killing farmers and killing Christian farmers. So that's just one example, and I'll just elaborate a moment here on that. Boko Haram, we actually had to petition our American government, because here's the truth. Boko Haram is an Islamic terrorist group. Our country, under the Obama administration with Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State, did nothing to designate Boko Haram a terrorist group, even though, in one night, 700 churches were burnt down in Nigeria. Our government was silent on it. It wasn't until my friend Emmanuel Ogebe, who works with Jubilee Campaign, yes, actually went to our Congress, and he spoke, and he also brought a victim of terror who actually, I believe that they almost had their head cut off. And that person came, and they actually testified in front of a committee in our government. It was only then that our government, under the wicked leadership of Obama, okay, and he was wicked, I'm just saying, people, and Hillary Clinton, it was only under that our government finally designated Boko Haram a terrorist group. Okay? See, here's the thing. You got to understand. If our government doesn't declare something like that, they fund it. And you know what? Our government funds terror all over the world. And our government, unfortunately, funds the terror of Christians all over the world and the murder of Christians. And I know that that's hard to hear, but unfortunately, it's the truth. All right, let me continue with the article here. It says, another example includes North Korea. The country is set up to believe and worship the power of its dictator, Kim Jong-un, who, by the way, is the son of Kim Jong-il. Nice name, right? North Koreans can be punished for denying Jong-un's deity. True story. Breakfast goers also had the chance to hear from guest speaker Joe Abush. Abush is an Iraqi Christian refugee who came to the United States in 2008. Like many Iraqi Christians, Abush stayed in his home in Iraq until he was forced to leave it and everything he had built. Living off his savings, Abush and his family lived in Jordan for some time before coming to the U.S. Some, like Abush, have had to leave the region they've called home and travel across the Atlantic Ocean. Yet, a lot of Christians from Iraq and Syria, including Abush, hope to return home, rebuild from ashes, and to share the gospel with their people. If you think about that, that is amazing, people. Think about it. But to do this, these persecuted Christians need help. As Abush concluded his story, he pleaded with the audience, asking them to help the persecuted Christians, and the quickest way to help is through prayer. Help the persecuted. So please pray. Pray for Christians' safety around the world. Also pray for the people who are persecuting Christians, that they would have what Curry calls a Saul to Paul conversion. And finally, pray for the leaders around the world to speak out against religious persecution and for them to take action against it. And then it goes on, it talks about other ways that you can advocate for it. And, you know, you can determine what Christian persecution ministry you want to give money to or support, or even sign a petition. You know, Voice of the Martyrs, American Center for Law and Justice, Open Doors, China Aid, Mission Network News. They all have, and there was Compass Direct, I'm not sure if they're still around, but they all have petitions and things like that. And I can tell you that in my work with VOM, that if you go to prisoneralert.com, you can actually write the prisoners there, and they actually have petitions you can sign. And they get to the government officials in these nations, but the prisoners, those letters, sometimes they actually make it to them. Other times the letters don't make it to them, but what they'll hear from the guards, the jailers, they'll actually say to so-and-so, hey, you have a lot of relatives in the world. I didn't even know that. And it's because people are actually writing on their behalf. And so your voice, it might cost you $1 to write, through prisoneralert.com to send, a letter to a Christian persecuted believer in some nation like Sudan or whatever. It might cost you $1, but you know what? It might get that person free. And, it doesn't take a lot. We're extremely blessed here that in America, the persecution Christians are under here is minor. It's fiduciary most of the time. Hi, lovely brown girl. Remind me your name again, okay? I'm sorry. I always forget unless I interact with you a ton, because I'm at that age. Anyway, the thing is it's so easy. Maria, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I should write that down. That way I remember. Yeah, it's so easy. So I would encourage you to do that. And at the very least, and I really shouldn't say it's at the very least, pray. Because your prayers, you might never know how God uses you to pray. But He will definitely answer your prayers. Your prayer might save a woman from being raped, or your prayer might save somebody from being beheaded, or your prayer might actually get somebody out of jail. These are the brutal realities of Christian persecution, and also anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is the hatred of Jews, right? And the Jews are God's chosen people. God chose the Jews to bless, and He chose Israel as His nation. This is why Israel is so important, and I know a lot of you already know that. But Israel is like the center of Bible prophecy in the world. That's why there's so much conflict over in the Middle East. And if you don't understand the role of Israel in the Middle East, you're not going to understand Bible prophecy, because you need to understand Israel, what's going on in Israel, and the Arab countries that are surrounding Israel, in order to understand eschatology, which is the study of the end times. You can understand that. You can understand the rise of Christian persecution and the rise of anti-Semitism. Then that will give you a whole bunch of confidence as you share the gospel with people, and you help explain to them, this is why you need Jesus, and this is why the Jews need Jesus, and this is what we're looking for in terms of, the second coming. So I don't know if Bareface wanted to add anything to that, but that was kind of my rant on that article.
Yeah, well, I would like to just kind of go on a little bit of a tangent here.
Go ahead.
A story coming out of Moscow, how the Russian court has banned the Jehovah's Witnesses translation of the Bible. You may think that's a good thing, but consider this. I'll just go ahead and bring in the article, if it will allow me here. Yeah, a Russian court has banned the Jehovah's Witnesses translation of the Bible, and I put translation in quotes because it's not really a translation of the Bible. I can get to that in a minute. Following a drawn-out legal battle, another blow to followers of the pacifist Christian sect. I would call them a cult, not a Christian sect, because they really deny Christ and His identity. Anyway, who have been branded extremists and driven to practicing their faith underground, as in Soviet times. The Jehovah's Witness parent organization in Russia and 395 regional branches were formally placed on the Justice Ministry list of extremist groups on August 17th. The procedure moved following the Supreme Court's decision to ban the group's activities and seize its property earlier this year. And then it talks about a separate case in the town of Vyborg that banned the New World Translation and several other Jehovah's Witnesses publications. The Bible was its message, also labeled extremists, etc., etc. Now, cut to me. I'm not a fan of the teaching of Jehovah's Witnesses. I think it's well, it's blasphemous in many ways. It's not biblical. I don't consider them a Christian sect. I consider them a cult, kind of disguising themselves under a Christian veneer of sorts. And the New World Translation is not a translation. I'm no Greek scholar, but looking at the New World Translation, I've seen portions where the Greek is not translated accurately. It's the English there is put to support their doctrines, which deny the deity of Jesus, which deny eternal separation from God, etc. Many of the doctrines that are clear in Scripture, Jehovah's Witnesses deny, and that's what it started with. Is Charles Taze Russell back in the 19th century didn't like the doctrine of hell, and so he kind of made up his own interpretation of the Bible, which led to, well, if the Bible says that and it doesn't mean that, then it can't mean this and it can't mean that, and they tried all sorts of things with the King James scriptures of that time, and eventually came up with their own because they couldn't make legitimate translations support their doctrine, so they came up with their own, quote, translation, unquote. Anyway, while I would, on the surface, I would rejoice, hey, yeah, it is extremist, whatever. But the fact that the Russian government is calling them extremists, cracking down on it, again, that's a freedom of conscience thing. That's not Christian. To bully people into out of a belief or into another belief, that's an ISIS kind of thing, and it's scary. They're starting with Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, they're extremists. Well, those next, the Pentecostal Christians, they're kind of extremists. They're going to go away, and then then.
But don't forget, here in America, they are already. They're trying to censor pastors' speeches here or sermons
indeed.
here in America. You just don't hear about it. I mean, the liberal media ain't going to share it with you, and neither is Donald Trump, even though he's doing his best to try to raise awareness about persecution of Christians here.
Yeah, so while I'm not a fan of Jehovah's Witness doctrine, I'm certainly not a fan of their persecution in Russia, or anywhere. We should have that freedom of conscience and freedom of association.
I agree, but also you got to remember Putin.
Yeah.
1 year ago, it was a little over a year ago, he started to say that evangelists can't go into Russia anymore and share the gospel.
Yep.
So Franklin Graham, as you might recall, actually said we no longer will
cancel the
That's right.
the visitation there.
He won't go in there because of that. So even, and what's really interesting is that in my lifetime, and I'm not that old, as you all know, Randall's older than me. He's so old. And Pastor Pete is way older than me.
Just so you know.
Yeah. But, in the 80s, when Reagan was like, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall, the gospel was opened up in the 80s for, in Russia, in USSR, is what it was called then. And now, 30 years later, it's closing again. So fortunately, the missionaries took advantage of what they did, and yeah, here's the thing: it's fulfilling Bible prophecy.
Yeah. I can't remember the general's name, but there in the mid '80s, wrote a book. I can't remember the name of the book, but I remember hearing him on some radio program way back when that basically said this whole perestroika thing and the wall coming down is just it was a ruse to placate the Western world and kind of quell the Cold War and all that it was a temporary thing just for the hardline communists to regroup and build their power up and that kind of thing. And he warned, don't buy it. And here we are, some 30 years later, that the huge military buildup in Russia, their alliances with Iran, and the shutdown of evangelism and, cracking down on this and that and everything. And it's kind of, it's kind of like the Soviet Union going back into full swing. No, us guys are not single. That gal is married to me, and this guy is married to that gal.
Yeah, for a whole 25 years.
Yep.
Probably longer than you've been around. That's my guess, right, everybody? Hey, by the way, I want to say hi to some other new people that came in. I see Joel came in, and Jeff, pillar of our community. Joel came in, and let's see, Liz, you're there, and Joe's there, Alex, and Deborah. Thank you for coming in, and I know that there's some other people there too that I don't know. But thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate you guys sharing it out. Thanks for the hearts, too. We're almost at 10 million. Hard to believe. Well, we're not quite there. We're getting there. And at 10 million, we're going to do a giveaway of something. What, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. Just so you know. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about, do you want to do the solar eclipse thing or the Jihad Watch story?
Let's do the solar eclipse
okay.
Briefly.
Go for it.
All right, well...
Because you know an eclipse is going to happen on Monday. The end of the world is near, as we all know it. The end of the world is here, and I feel fine.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up this article from express.co.uk. Let me make it a little larger here.
All right.
Solar Eclipse 2017. Does Black Moon fulfill Bible apocalypse prophecy of second coming? Weird news. Anyway.
There is some hype about this.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's a 2-minute event, people.
Yeah, according to some fundamental Christians, the eclipse signals the end of days. Many fundamental Christians see it as a significant warning of impending apocalypse. I haven't talked to any. I haven't met any. But apparently, the Great American Total Solar Eclipse, as it is said to be a warning sign from God, is as it allegedly fulfills Bible prophecy. Pastor Paul Begley.
Okay. All right. So, let me just say something. Pastor Paul Begley is very popular on YouTube, and he falls into the camp of the prophecy expert types. I haven't listened to him enough to know what his actual theology is, but what I've heard of him, I actually like. So,
anyway,
but go ahead.
Anyway, he's quoted here. Host of the Coming Apocalypse radio show said the eclipse could fulfill a prophecy recorded in the book of Joel. Well, okay, there is a quote from here. Somebody sound the trumpet. That's extracted. Who knows the context?
No. This states the sun shall be turned to darkness before the day of the Lord comes.
Yeah, the prophecy in Joel chapter 2.
Right, but you didn't read that.
I know, but I was looking for a quote from...
I should be quiet.
I was looking for a quote from...
Be quiet, woman.
From the pastor.
Gotcha.
And so I skipped down to where the quote. And the quotes are they're fragments. Begley said, quote, somebody sound the trumpet, unquote, because eclipse may, quote, mean, quote, we are living the last days. He could have said we were living the last days, and I totally agree with that. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 2 tells us that, in these last days, God has spoken to us by his Son. And somebody sound the trumpet, he could have said that in any context. So until I hear the full context of what he said, I may not have been related to the eclipse. I don't know.
Bing, bong, bong.
Oops, didn't work.
Bong, bong, what was that?
That was supposed to be a trumpet sound, but apparently it really wasn't.
Apparently not.
Bygones.
Anyway.
Okay.
Writing for Unsealed.org, Gary Ray says the eclipse may mean that 2017 will mark the beginning of the tribulation, a time the Bible describes as a period of conflict and suffering on a scale never experienced in mankind's history. Well, yeah, there is a tribulation coming, and I think the scripture is clear about that. Whether or not the eclipse may mean that 2017 will mark the beginning of that. Anyway, and horse race. All right.
Hey, that was a trumpet.
And they're off. Coming up on the outside.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if when Jesus comes, it's that particular trumpet sound?
Well, the second coming with the horses, I can see that.
I can see the Lord doing that. So he'd be like, all right, everybody, here's the trumpet you've all been waiting for.
Anyway. And then they mentioned Scott Clark of VRF Ministries believes the eclipse is intimately connected to a September 23rd astronomical alignment. He says involves the constellations Virgo and Leo along with Mercury, Mars, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, interesting stuff to say the most. I'm just wondering what happens when there's a total eclipse in 2020 on December 14th. In the southern hemisphere, I have a feeling that, it's a total eclipse visible from the northern hemisphere, and many Americans being so egocentric, it's a total eclipse visible from America. This is impending doom. I don't know.
Well, it is interesting because the Bible does prophesy that in the end of days there will be many signs and wonders in the skies.
And there's been total solar eclipses for...
I know, but these have increased in the last 50 years. They have... Yes,
really?
They've increased, yeah. Earthquakes have increased.
Well, yeah, but
all that stuff.
But total solar eclipses?
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, there we
But, blood moons and all that. I mean, when I was a kid, that didn't happen, that I know of.
Really? Well, I remember lunar eclipses.
But you're so much older than I am, so you probably do remember because you're older and wiser and handsomer.
Anyway. Yeah, I remember.
You eat bugs and crickets.
No, just ate one cricket.
Only one.
Yeah.
Covered in ucky sugar. Ugh.
Yeah, maltitol syrup.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm not saying that. Also, not expecting wah wah wah. Trump is like wah wah wah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely not. But anyway,
I need a gong show to do the gong.
Yeah. So
sound for
you do remember the Gong Show, huh?
I barely remember it, but Melanie probably
Chuck
remembers.
Barris. And Gene the dancing
how
machine.
many of you out there are actually going to observe the solar eclipse and you're going to have a party? Because believe it or not, there are people having parties for this 2-minute event.
Well, the totality is 1 minute and 59 seconds.
Okay. But just like New Year's Eve, when the clock strikes and it turns to the next year.
Yeah, I mean, people make a whole day out of really a second, if that. No.
And I'm going to predict something. Imagine this. Imagine with me for a moment. The first baby. The baby born during the eclipse. What are they going to name that baby? Think about it. So there's going to be a baby born, and then they're going to have a black diaper.
Newborns usually do.
And no, but they'll design a black diaper in the shape of a thing, for the baby, and then the baby. I swear they're gonna do it. That baby, the very first baby that's gonna be born during the eclipse. It's gonna get on the news.
And
there will be pregnant women, no doubt, who will be like, God, please let me have my baby born during the eclipse. Oh, that's going to be so awesome. Then I could, and then they'll name the baby Eclipse.
Yeah.
Or something.
Little Sonny. Classic Liz, Little Sonny.
It would be funny. I mean, but you know how people are. I've already seen people. I live in Spring Hill, Tennessee, a little town, and
we are outside the totality zone by about 10 miles.
Okay, and I've seen people wearing T-shirts. I'm about ready. Yesterday we were at Applebee's with my dad and Ann and JR, and there was a woman sitting there with a T-shirt about the eclipse. And first of all, you got to admire the entrepreneurs who are selling stuff.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
Given this path across the United States is rare, but then later on there's going to, a few years from now, one going the other direction to be visible, from Texas to Maine.
See, you're right, Joel. I was watching an Instagram storyteller. There's a woman on there I follow, and her name's Christy. She's a Mormon, and she was actually talking about how they were warning her church that to stock up on water, food, make sure that they have a backup generator because they know the electricity is going to go out. I mean, totally the Mormons are
electricity is going to go out.
Yeah, because the eclipse of the sun, and they're having all these people come in, and I mean, they're really telling them to prepare for disaster because of this eclipse.
Well, I could see
because of all the people coming into the area where they're going to see it.
Right.
So
Right, I could see that because people are generally,
Stupid.
well, I don't want to say that,
Sheep.
but just,
Bah.
yeah,
Was that the right sound for a sheep?
it's close.
Was that more like a goat?
I don't know.
Bah? Moo? No, it's a cow.
Anyway.
By the way, the best way to do a cow sound is go like this. Plug your nose. And then go, moo, moo. That was kind of a wimpy.
Very convincing.
Yeah. It wasn't really
Anyway,
good.
so
Well, I never claimed to be a moo voiceover artist.
yeah, I can see.
A cow voiceover artist. Yeah.
Fortunately, there's a long path, from Oregon down to South Carolina, whatever. I forget what the actual path is. Montana population expected to double.
So it'll be 50 people there then? Just kidding. My brother-in-law lives in Montana, so I can make fun of Montana.
Anyway, but somehow that it's gonna, I could see wireless coverage being hampered. I've been in a stadium with several, tens of thousands of people, and it was hard to get a signal because it's all these people in one cell. Hard to get a phone signal because a particular cell, they're called cell phones because there's cells of coverage anyway, and
Gotcha.
if you're on your phone in your car, you pass through several cells and the call is actually transferred. Anyway,
Well,
we won't get into cellular packet data exchange and all that. But anyway, so I could see that. A bunch of people in the area where a cell is not equipped to handle that many phones in the area that you might need to be a signal, but somehow the power is going to go out because of an eclipse. That's crazy.
Well, you know what I think you can do instead of watching the clips? You can watch it, but then you should enroll in my Bible course.
Oh.
In fact, there's so many benefits to my new course. Stop lying to yourself.
How many are there?
There's at least 15 benefits.
Do tell.
Okay, I have this all written down. So in case you didn't know, you can go over to Bible News Radio on Twitter, and it's the pinned tweet. If you click that, then you'll be able to read this whole thing. But this course will help you. It doesn't involve a horse, just so you know. How to walk more authentically and without fear. Who wants to walk without fear, people? I do. This will tell you how to do that. The truth about why you keep secrets and build walls with yourself and God. Even with the Eclipse, people. The real reason you're in bondage and how to begin to walk in freedom, even though you might be in denial about that. But then if you were kind of sort of in denial about being in bondage, then that would actually fit into the title of the course, Stop Lying to Yourself. What you're actually giving up when you hide your struggles from other people. What you're actually giving up when you try to hide from God, which good luck with that, because you can't hide from God, just so you know. It will give you tools to evaluate where you are in your process of being open and transparent. And so much more. I don't want to read the whole list, but you guys can sign up. You can support Bible News Radio, but even more so, support your spiritual growth. And each lesson, we give key scriptures, key points to it, and key questions. It's like this sheet here. It comes with 6 downloadable PDFs that you can print up and put in a notebook. And then, of course, it's an evergreen course, which means you can go through it however long it takes you to go through it. And there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. And I think with the 10% discount, it's about $26. So if you want to support me and Bareface and feed our animals, then go over to Bible News Radio, click on that pinned tweet right there and get the course. In fact, you can watch it this weekend. It's only 2 hours long, so it won't even take you that much time. All right. Also, I want to thank Ariel Ministries, who is our main sponsor. And by the way, I should also tell you, if you're interested in sponsoring Bible News Radio, even for one episode, then feel free to let me and Bareface know. We'll tell you how much that is. But Ariel, they actually sponsor us. They've been sponsoring us for almost a whole year. They have really great resources like the Yeshua book, Life of the Messiah from a Messianic Jewish Perspective. And the coupon code to use is Bible News. You save 20% on everything in the store. And the Yeshua book is something that they really want us to tell you about. There's 3 volumes to it.
4.
4 volumes. There's 4?
Yeah.
The 4th one come out yet?
I don't think it's been released yet.
Okay, yeah, they haven't given it to me, so probably not. But they also have D.L. Cooper's Messianic Series, which is a series of 7 books you can get for $32, and also save 20% on that as well. And there's the coupon, there's the thingy there. But just remember, use Bible News. Think Bible News Radio, and then think Bible News when you check out. You'll always save money. It's the only discount that I know of that they actually give anywhere, aside from their site-wide discounts that actually are usually not 20%. They're usually under that. So celebrate Ariel with us and become a supporter and get good stuff in your library. And your pillar of the community, people. We have a handful of pillars of the community. And, somebody was asking me the other day, how do I become a pillar of the community? In fact, Pastor Pete was actually asking me last night, how do I become a pillar of the community? Now, Pastor Pete didn't know. And if Pastor Pete didn't know, then you don't know either. So let me just tell you, to become a pillar of the community, we just ask for a financial commitment of $25 or more donated to the show. You can give through BibleNewsRadio.com/give and set up a recurring payment either through PayPal or your credit card, however you do that, or some people send us a recurring donation via check. And it really does help us. So if you like what we do and you want to support your online missionaries here, Bible News Radio, and help us to continue to bring, the discipleship, the teaching, the news, and wonderful, super duper awesome guests to the show, then we really do appreciate your support. We are not a nonprofit organization, and I've had people say, are you going to be a nonprofit? And the answer is no, because honestly, we can't afford the paperwork to file to become a nonprofit. And really, it's not on my heart to be a nonprofit. And that's the truth. I've been doing this for 12 years, 2 years on Periscope. And, there's just really not a desire for me to go that route. But if you want to support us, we would encourage that. And I thank you for that in advance. And those of you who already do, like Jeff and Mia and Melanie and some others, Megan and Vicky and some others who support us, we really totally appreciate it. All right. Is that it? Is that all for our announcements?
I think so. We've got a little over 7 minutes left. I wonder if we want to go end on a happy note or...
The MS stands for Masters of Science. I have a Masters of Science degree in the field of clinical psychology because I'm a retired marriage and family therapist. That's what I am. But I do coaching too, and I actually don't talk a lot about that, but if you're interested in biblical coaching or you have a problem or something you want to talk about, then feel free to contact us about that too. And the best way you can do that is through our website, BibleNewsRadio.com, or tweet me on Twitter at Bible News Radio. By the way, you can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bible News Radio, pretty much everywhere, because everything is so expensive and folks needs a place to plant a seed, tithe, support where you're fed. Yeah, amen. Yeah, see, and you know what? That's what I do. True story. Picking pearls. I like that name, by the way. Thank you. Totally appreciate it. Okay, so you want to get to the other thing?
Yeah, do we go end on a high note or a low note?
Well, we can share the news and then end on a high note.
Well, I've got a couple news stories here that are...
All right. Well, this is the day we go over 15 minutes, so...
All right, so why don't we...
Remember, this is free for all. Friday.
Yeah, so why don't we go with the with the Jihad Watch story?
Okay, so the one in Finland?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to read it? You want to read it?
I can read if you'd like.
Put a 1 if you want Randall to read it. Put a 2 if you think I read better. We'll wait.
Oh, we know that there's a delay, so...
Yeah, I know. There's like a 10-second delay. All the hearts stop, so we know that people are doing... Of course, Melanie put a 3. Oh. I'm going to throw her out of here. Right. Seriously? The pillars of the community? Really? 2 pillars? Put a 3? You guys are so disobedient. Okay,
so... One, I don't remember what.
1 is they want you to read it.
All right.
All right. So Don wants you to read it.
All right, this... article from Jihad Watch out of Finland.
Oh, Joel wants me to read it, though. Well, I have one friend. Thank you, Joel. I appreciate it, buddy.
Anyway.
All right, go ahead.
Time is ticking away. Then the Muslims screaming Allahu Akbar go on stabbing spree, a woman and baby among victims.
I know, that sucks.
Finland incident, police shoot man who stabbed several people in the city of Turku. Finland terrorist attack, several people injured after knifemen screaming Allahu Akbar goes on a rampage in the city. Armed police have opened fire on a knife-wielding attacker.
Really, Joel? Really? He said, wait, one.
Okay.
Okay.
Screaming Allahu Akbar, who has gone a rampage randomly stabbing people in Finland. Police have confirmed several people have been knifed in the center of Turku this afternoon, including a woman and a baby. Police are urging people to avoid the center of town, and a body has reportedly been spotted covered up. According to information, police have opened fire, and witnesses report seeing a pool of blood. Early reports say one assailant was shot in the leg, and this person was arrested. The police tweeted at 2:50 p.m. Several persons stabbed in central Turku. Police has shot at suspected perpetrator. One person apprehended. 5 minutes earlier, they tweeted, people are advised to leave the center of Turku. According to an eyewitness, the incident happened close to the market square. Among the injured is an elderly mother with a young boy nearby, both of whom were spotted covered in blood. Now this goes back to, persecution and things we were talking about. What are the things that are happening in Russia with the crackdown on Jehovah's Witnesses? I mean, should Islam be outlawed? I don't think so. Should terrorism be outlawed? Yes, because it's illegal. I mean, it's terrorism where threat of violence and mayhem and carrying out of violence and mayhem that should be illegal, and is. And so I don't think it's unreasonable if it's discovered that a particular congregation of Muslims is plotting mayhem and terror, then that should be shut down and arrest should be made. It's just troubling, though not surprising, that although extremists, and by extremists, Islamic extremists, mean people who take the Islamic literature literally, the teachings of Muhammad, take them to heart and follow them out. The cruel person, here come the death threats to me, but the cruel person that Muhammad was, murderous kind of individual, and advocated violence and conversion by the sword, which is how Islam spread in the Middle Ages. So the extremists are the ones that take his teachings to heart and carry them out, and this is what it leads to, killing the infidel and that sort of thing. So you would think, sad, do you do this in Israel and no one cares? Now happen in the rest of the world.
Well,
Yeah.
I would say that the media doesn't care if it happens in Israel, but Christians definitely care that it happens in Israel. So, and thank you, Jason, for inviting people out, or inviting your followers. Are you done, Bareface?
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to our super fans. I don't do this
Okay.
enough. And first of all, I want to thank everybody who comes in on the replay too. If replay viewers actually, I think, tend to watch more because they come in for the replay. But I want to thanks, Nita. I want to shout out our super fans. It's interesting. Randall Bareface is my #1 super fan. It's only because he has to be in here to see stuff, but so he doesn't count. But Melanie Weiser is our #1 super fan, and she has held that spot for a long time. And then there's Mia, who is our #2 super fan, and there is Megan, And all three of these guys, by the way, are pillars of our community. Megan is our third super fan, even though we changed the time of the show, and she has to watch it later now, which isn't fun for her. And Jason is soon to be on our show, hopefully. He's our number 4 super fan, even though it says number 5. You're really 4, Jason. Yeah, he always shares out and everything. I'm looking forward to having you on our show. Kathy, Nice Toes, is number 6, and she's in Australia, right?
Yeah, Sydney.
She's our number 1 super fan in Australia.
Dang on to...
And then Jeff, pillar of the community as well. He is a super fan as well, which I'm totally looking forward to. Anyway, Jeff, I'm going to miss you, just so you know. but we love you, man. Okay. And then Coach Dave is our number 7 super fan. And I'm not sure if this is the first time Coach Dave has made it to our super fan list. Rob is number 8, next gen trader, and Rob has been here for a while, and so that's kind of cool too. And then Sylvia Sulin comes in at number 9, but it's actually technically number 10
number 8
on our list. Huh?
You mean number 8?
No, number 10 on my list for super fans.
Okay, right. Yeah. Gotcha.
So she's really number 9, and whoever the 11th super fan is, which it doesn't tell me. You really are number 10, and I don't know who you are, but anyway, thank you for all the super fans. You guys are the ones that listen to us the most, and probably give us the most hearts too.
I suppose I could start watching on the web. That way, I wouldn't log in to monitor the comments.
I don't know,
and then I would fall out of that first position.
We totally appreciate you guys coming in, and of course, we appreciate everybody that tunes in to the show. I love our show. And I think it's really good. And I think you guys all have great taste for coming in. You have a good sense of humor, and to put up with Randall,
Definitely.
Just saying, I mean.
You deserve a medal for that.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So this is the time of our Friday Free for All Friday show where.
Can I throw in one more story real quick?
Sure.
We were talking about Stacy. I don't know what count as super fan.
I'm not going to see. Oh, you mean like log in as Bible News Radio? I wonder if we could do that.
Probably could. Anyway.
You're probably right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
you should be doing that, mister.
Yeah, okay.
How come you didn't think about that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a few days ago, we were talking about these stories about the Bible that survives the burning car and stuff like that, or being returned. And here's yet another one.
I think is it the same one though?
No, different one.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Coming out of North Carolina, Iredell County, North Carolina. It's a different one.
Because it looked like the same one when I looked at it. It's the one that, but I don't know. But
no, I think it's a different name.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, the one about 17 years. It was returned after 17 years.
Yeah.
I think that's the same story.
It's
a different publication that covered it though.
But I don't think it's the same story. But
ooh, should we have an argument?
No, we shouldn't.
Like the argument clinic in Monty Python.
Python. Yeah, but that's not an argument.
This isn't an argument.
No, neither was that.
You
the
sure?
Argument clinic. No, it's just a simple contradiction. Just gainsaying. Anyway, so
who's on first?
Anyway, why don't we turn it to the
audience. Article? Oh, okay, go ahead.
To the audience.
No. I thought you were going to read the
article.
No,
I'm not. Now that there's some doubt that it's the same story. But
maybe some. Okay.
I will investigate.
Well, you can read it, and then if it turns out to be the same,
I will investigate.
Okay.
See,
the power of the influence of wife. I look at us on screen. I look so much whiter than bareface. My hair is whiter. My skin is whiter. And he looks like he's like tan, and he doesn't even really go outside that much. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to believe that we actually married each other because we're so different. So this is the time of the show where if you guys want to ask us questions or throw in, whatever. You know what I've noticed? You know, in some of my friends' scopes, they tend to get a lot of sex trolls. Like, totally. And you know what's really cool is that in our scope, we don't get that many. You know why? Because I think God protects our scope. Just saying, people. Have you noticed that? Why is the sky blue? It depends on where you're at in America or the world, you know. Why is the sky blue? The sky is blue because God wanted it to be blue. And I know there is a scientific reason for it. And I'm not really sure what it is because I'm not that smart. But I know I have read it. But if you give me a minute, I can look it up on Google. Let's see here. Hold on a second. I'll tell you what Google says. Let's see. Why is the sky blue? All right. Jason wants to know why is the sky blue. Ah, here it is. A clear, cloudless daytime sky is blue because molecules in the air scatter blue light from the sun more than they scatter red light. When we look towards the sun at sunset, we see red and orange colors because the blue light has been scattered out and away from the line of sight. There you go. All right. Hey, Nancy. Nancy's in Tennessee, too. Nice to see you in our scope, just so you know. Okay, any other smart alecky questions anybody wants to ask? Just curious. So, and now I know. Right. It's because this is the time of show where we sing silly songs, but not with Larry. Now you know the rest of the story. That's right. Paul Harvey would be so proud. Can you imagine getting into heaven and Paul Harvey will be up there and he'll be like, and now here's the rest of the story. Why is the grass green? Well, if you live in California, the grass isn't green because the state of California is under a severe drought and they actually have had to go golden or, you know, just saying. The grass is green. Have you ever thought what it would look like, though, if God had switched that and made the sky green and the grass blue? You know, it would look normal to us. It totally would, because we'd be like, yeah, bluegrass. And I'm not talking music here. Actually, blue grass. You know. And the sky would be green, and we wouldn't think it was polluted, and all that. Where is my husband? He's over there, across the table.
On the other side of the table.
From me, and my nose itches. Yeah. There he is, see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's hunky, isn't he? Yeah, he is. He's pretty hot. You should see him. Well, never mind, I won't say that. But you like green grass? That's good to know.
High tides.
I almost said you like green gas, and that would be funny too. Joel Comm would be like, "Hey, I need to put that in my iFar app." Yeah. Okay, so any other questions that are actually legitimate, people? Seriously, some of the questions you people ask, I don't know. So, did you have a favorite show this week? Was it Bareface eating a cricket? Our 25th wedding anniversary? Was it Carla Atkins? Was it Pastor Pedro, aka Pastor Pete? Was it this one? Was it, what was it? You could be your own troll. I know, right? Well, Vicky Fitch actually calls me a froll because when I go into her scope, I troll her. Actually, though, I really don't troll her anymore because she Fitch slapped me so much. I was like so beaten up by it. I was like, fine, I won't have any fun with you anymore. So God throws a lot of sex bots into her thing. She actually has a guy named Lester the Molester who comes into her scope, and I think his real name is Pat, but who in the heck in their right mind would name themselves Lester the Molester? I mean, seriously. Really? I mean, of all the dumb names to give yourself.
I don't know if it's dumb. I think it's... I don't know what I'd call it.
Lester the Molester.
Certainly unbecoming. Probably funny if you're prepubescent, but...
Yeah, it's not Chester. It's probably related to Chester the... Yeah. Anyway. All right. Any other questions from any of you out there for real? Don't forget, Rihanna If you came in late and you didn't see the really pretty thing that I promoted at the beginning, let's see here. This is, let's see, Myra. Instagram, you want to follow her. Here you have it.
Let me see full screen.
Is it a serious question? Okay, we'll look at it. But if you want to follow Rihanna on Instagram, you can go follow her. And you can buy stuff from her at Etsy. This is not a paid promotion. This is because I just thought her stuff is nice and people should know about it. So there you go. Oh, and I should say again, if you guys want to sponsor the show, you want to become a pillar of the community, or you know somebody who wants to sponsor Bible News Radio, then let us know. We're looking for more people to help us out. All right? All right. Okay, so what was the question? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the question. We're waiting for it. Did they leave? Are they typing in the question?
Maybe.
Okay, we'll wait momentarily.
Or maybe it wasn't a serious question.
Maybe it wasn't a serious question. Let's see here. Did you see?
Or maybe it wasn't for us. They were just letting us know that they have a question.
Did you see that earlier in today's and Pastor Pete's scope? Somebody became a Christian or said they wanted to be.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that's cool. And Nature Scoper _ Eric is here. I bet you he's number 11. I can't see your question, but I can see that. I can see what you just said. Can you see my question? Can someone help you ask it?
This is one of these.
Is this a bot?
Or this is maybe
Baker's Jakers Diaz.
Yeah, maybe this is kind of like a thing with like Nebuchadnezzar, and saying, somebody tell me my dream and its interpretation.
Or maybe it's the Great Karnak. We should, we hold up the card.
And then give the answer, then read the question.
Okay, yeah. Maybe that's it, So, yeah, I really don't like these eclipse the hearts and then the dark moon. Seriously? No, we cannot apparently see it. We Daniel here. Yeah. Sad face. Well, we can see your text, your thing there. Don't you think that they should have like different things for the dark eclipse? I mean, that looks so depressing. It looks like It looks like a bomb. These little eclipse sun thingies.
You think so?
Yeah, look, it's black. It's a dark, really depressing.
Well, that's what a total eclipse looks like.
I know, but that's so depressing. How did God confirm your marriage? Okay. What do you mean by confirm your marriage? Linus Quickle, you finally saw it. Yeah. What do you mean by confirm your marriage? I don't understand what you mean by the word that you and your husband. Well, I know that. I know that's me and Bareface are married, but I don't understand what you mean by the word confirm. What do you mean by that? Help me to understand your question. Did you want to know how it became legal? I don't understand. That's hard to believe, huh? But see, good communicators will admit when they're not communicating well.
That
you were for each other.
Oh,
so
okay.
You want to know how you knew we were for each other? All right, this is crazy. I'll tell you though. So when Bareface asked me to go to volleyball with him, and as you know, there's balls throughout our marriage: pickleball, volleyball, softball, basketball, golf, which isn't that a weird name for a game about a little ball you hit with a what? A club. Yeah. Isn't it interesting that you call a golf club a club? It doesn't even really look like a club. It's whatever. Anyway, so Randall and me, we went to play volleyball together. And that's one of the dumbest games ever invented, in my opinion, just so you know. And afterwards, we went out to dinner to eat. I guess, or it was lunch. It was dinner, right? Or snacks. I don't know. Anyway, afterwards, and I was sitting there, and God spoke to me after when Randall came up to me and he started talking to me, asking me questions, and God told me, this is going to be your husband. And I was like, all right. So So God told me that Randall was going to be my husband. That's how I knew. You're probably wondering, well, how did you know it was God? I don't know. I just knew that. But it took Randall a while to figure it out because he's a man, and and men are by and large a little more. That's not the word I want to. I shouldn't use that word.
No, definitely not.
What word do you think I was going to use?
An unfavorable one.
Well, no, depends on how you take it. Anyway, so men aren't as I can't even say that because you might be.
Now for something completely different. According to ScottishGolfHistory.org, the meaning of the word golf is an old word meaning club, and the first documented mention of the word golf is in Edinburgh.
Okay,
I can't do this. In 1457, anyway, when King James II banned e-golf.
Was there a question? I mean, was there a reason you were asking about how we knew if our marriage was confirmed, or are you
the golfer?
Is there a guy that you think you're supposed to marry, or he wants to marry you and you're not sure? I'm just being nosy. I'm just curious.
It's a better question.
Yes, because God told who he is. So God told you who your husband is going to be. Is that what you're saying? Because I believe it. I mean, he can do that. He did it with me. And he even confirmed our wedding date in the Bible. So, but see, here's what I did when God told me that, just so you know. I didn't go, oh my gosh, Randall, do you know that you're going to be my husband? I didn't do that. In fact, I kept it to myself. I was like, you know what? I just was like, God just said that he's going to be my husband. I knew it. I believed it. And that was it. I think a lot of women want confirmation of the man they're supposed to marry. Yeah. So, well, yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. He doesn't have a clue. Well, Randall didn't either. In fact, Randall didn't even want to admit we were dating. That is a true story.
Well, you didn't want to admit it either.
No, I did. I already knew we were dating because I knew you were going to be my husband.
All right, well.
Just so you know.
We had a hard time coming up with a term.
How did Randall get a clue? Yeah, you should tell him how you got a clue, because there was one night Randall and me were talking, and he was like, you're not my type at all. Blah, blah.
1926.
And then, here's the thing. Like 2 days later, he proposed to me. So yeah, you should explain how you came to the decision that you actually wanted to marry me. I would like to hear this story. Well, I don't think I've ever heard it. Or maybe I have, and I just forgot it because I'm so old now.
Well,
Hi, Max 1166.
It was just a natural progression to me. I mean, I knew that I loved you. I knew that we had a deep emotional connection. We've been married for 25 years and a couple days. Yeah, we were married 25 years on the 15th of this month, which was 3 days ago. And when I told you that you're not my type, I meant exactly that, and that you're not like me. Thank God. You're not the female version of me, which would be Thank you, terrible. Eric. If I'd married someone like me, then that would have been distasteful and just. Well, I don't know. I married you, and I don't think I have bad taste. No, but if I'd married someone like me, like with my same personality and that kind of thing, it would be no good. 2 peas in the pod. Yeah. Yeah, awkward, right, yeah, Jason? Right. So. You're so sweet and funny. I think you're good for each other. I think so too. Well, yeah, I think so. Of course, good. So, I think that I'll keep her. Do you think that I tease him too much? I mean, do you think it's weird that after 25 years and knowing each other, 27 years, that we're so cute together? I mean, how many middle-aged couples who act like us? Probably not that many. But the thing is, and this is the truth, it's actually real.
when nobody's looking, I still tease Randall. I still call him barefaced. I still pick on him. I still look at his butt because he's really cute, you know, and other stuff. It's true. You know, your husband or your wife should be your best friend.
Indeed.
You know, and it doesn't mean, and, you know, and Randall gets irritated because I have girlfriends that are, you know, I'm very close to, too.
I don't get irritated
but
by that. I think it's healthy.
But the thing is I cannot, you are me, Stacy, and your husband is like my future husband. Oh, so, well, that should work over then. But, you know, the thing is, you know, I have relationships with my girlfriends that are different than with Randall. I hope so. I can talk to them about him. You know what Randall did the other night? No. But there's an emotional bond with women that we have. Definitely.
That men will never understand.
He doesn't understand why women fight so much. Put a 1 if you're a woman, you know exactly what that's about. You know, I fight or not fight, but get in arguments, get my feelings hurt other people's feelings. It's only women, though. It's never men.
Women's relationships are so complicated.
We are complicated. Well, it's because we're nurturers. That's why we care so much. Going to the restroom together. Yeah. Yeah, you know what's interesting about that, Eric, is most women I know actually hate it when other women or anybody else is in the restroom. Why? Because none of us like to listen to the other one pee. We don't want anybody to hear us pee or fart or anything like that. Just saying. And true story in marriage, it's taken me a long time to get used to hearing Randall fart and also to let him hear me fart, just so you know. But it's true. And I remember, and this is so funny because I know those of you who are not married and you haven't been married this long, or you were married or whatever. I remember when I was single, one of my girlfriends who was married for a long time, she actually told me, and I never forgot it. She said, I want you to know that it just becomes a part of your relationship and part of being comfortable with one another. Because most women do not enjoy passing gas. Just saying, you know, or burping or any of that.
I don't think people do in general.
I know, but a lot of men, though, they're like really super comfortable with it. But women, no. No, it's true. You know, it's true. I mean, we tolerate it, you know, but
there's nothing to stress out over.
Well, some of us have and probably will. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that people my age have more gas, and so, you know. Plus, if you eat your diet right, you don't have as much. So, you know, that's a good thing too, just so you know. I met a sister at a business. She slept over one night, and she was clingy, and the rest is history. Well, there you go, you know. All right.
A happy man has joined us, Happy Man 122.
I think he was here before. You fart comfortably. Well, that's good to know. I'm happy for you. I am. Yeah. So, the problem with farting is that you can't control what comes out. You can't control if it's going to be loud. You can't control if it's going to be soft or if it's going to smell. Just saying. And when it smells, that's the worst because it's like, you know, then everybody knows, even if it was quiet. So just saying. Yeah.
Well, there are underwear with charcoal filters you can get.
I actually one time went to a chiropractor and he actually adjusted me and I farted. And I busted up laughing and he busted up laughing. And it was really funny because he's like, you have no idea how often that happens. Yeah, anyway. Hey, it's if you can't laugh about being human, there's really nothing you can laugh about. That's a true story right there.
And you might as well learn to find the humor in being human because you always will be.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So on that happy note.
Yeah, we're way over time.
We should end the show. I know.
We should.
It's really sad that we have to go right now. But we'll be back before the eclipse.
Yes.
So don't worry, you know.
And I'm willing to guess we will after. Well, you know, anything could happen. Not because of the eclipse, but.
Okay, but let me tell you, next week, you guys are going to want to tune in for sure if you can. Pastor Tommy Norman is going to be my guest Tuesday. Okay, just so you know. Cheryl Chumley, who is a Fox News commentator. She gets invited back on Fox News all the time. She's also the author of a couple of books, Police State, and also another book I'm blanking on. Oh, The Devil in D.C. That's the other one. Cheryl Chumley is going to be my guest Wednesday. She writes for the Washington Times as well. She's also a pillar of our community. Raymond Presson. He wrote a book called
When Will My Life Not Suck?
Yeah, When Will My Life Not Suck? I actually know Raymond. He's here in Tennessee. I play pickleball with him. He's a therapist, and he's absolutely hilarious. He is the one I got the idea for the egg question, just so you know. My A-list egg question is because of Raymond. So he'll be my guest Thursday, talking about his book, Why Will My Life Not Suck? And then on Friday, next Friday, Rick Costa will be our guest. So we actually have two Periscopers next week coming up. Tommy and Rick will be on the show, but then Cheryl Chumley and Raymond will be our guest. And then the week after, we actually have prophecy expert Jeff Kinley coming up, and we have money guru here on Periscope, Laura Royer, coming up, and then a couple other people too. So I'm already booked through September. Almost half of October is already booked. So pray for us as we do our stuff. And I just want to let you know that we really do appreciate you guys. Thank you for supporting the show and your prayers, your financial donations, for getting our course. And if there's anything Barefaced and me can pray for you for, just feel free to tweet us at Bible News Radio or through our website, BibleNewsRadio.com. So remember, be bold, stand up, and go with God, because He loves you. We'll see you Sunday.